Hi everyone. Sorry it's kind of dark in here. I'm trying to keep my room at least somewhat cool in this wonderful heat that we've been getting. I don't know. I'm winter baby, so I'm more of a fan of the cold. But so yeah, I'm just trying to cool things off a little bit. But I wanted to pop on and I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there who has taken on the role of the caregiver. That's essentially what mothers are supposed to do. They are the caregiver. They're the ones that, mold and guide our children into the wonderful people that they become. So thank you very much to all of the caregivers out there, whether you be, mom, single dad, aunt, just somebody special to, the newer generation that's coming up. So, or, the upcoming generation, I guess, my, my Mother's Day was actually very good, very relaxing. I just spent most of my time just kind of chilling out, doing some yoga, spending time with the kiddos, and, just having a lot of fun. Last night was phenomenal. It was my youngest last choir concert of the year, and it was really fun because we spent most of the concert on the grass kind of wrestling around and stuff like that because it was an outdoor concert, so had a lot of fun. And then of course today we got out and swept off the trampoline and jumped for like a couple of minutes until I broke myself because I'm getting old. I mean, the spirit is willing, the body sometimes not so much. But it was kind of a hard Mother's Day for me. A lot of memories of Greg. He used to, make it a very special day for me, especially with the choice of not, wanting to have my biological mother in the picture of my life anymore. Just, and I harbor no hatred for her. I don't need that kind of toxicity around me, or my kids. I think she's got a lot of growing and healing to do herself, and maybe when that happens, we might be able to reevaluate our relationship. I mean, I don't like the use of what's called, absolutes, which is, never, always, you, like in a negative connotation, like you always, you never, you will always, will never, things like that. I don't like absolutes because I'm one of those that I believe never say never, because honestly, you never know. But and that's one of the reasons why I want to acknowledge all of the, caregivers out there, because, sometimes the best family is the one that you make yourself. If you've got an adopted mom out there, or, a single dad or something like that, somebody who didn't have to, be the caregiver, but they are, that's phenomenal. And that means so much. That really does. And, if you are the caregiver, if you are the one that stepped up when you didn't have to, please know that that is amazing, and you are amazing just for being that way, just for taking on that role and that responsibility, because it's a lot, you know? I mean, well, it really does, you know? There are some people out there who cannot take that responsibility, and so, you know, things go horribly awry, and, you know, hence the reason for the traumas and the abandonment issues and things like that. So if you are one of those that chose to take that responsibility, thank you. From the bottom of all of our hearts, from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I'm just gonna say it like that. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for stepping up and taking that responsibility that you didn't have to, but you did because you're such a wonderful person. I really appreciate it. I want to acknowledge the wonderful beauty that is inside of your heart. So please know that all of your hard work is being acknowledged, you know, even if it's not by the people whom you expect it to be acknowledged by. It's being acknowledged by, well, people like me who really do appreciate it, you know. And there are a lot of people out there like me. You know, there are a lot of people out there like you. Sometimes they just forget that that's who they are. I know I've been struggling a lot lately with just the idea that, you know, sometimes I get so tired, and I get so tired of fighting, you know, because sometimes it feels like I'm fighting an uphill battle, especially against like the toxicity and, you know, the narcissism and things like that, you know, and the doubt and the hopelessness and the guilt and fear. And a lot of it comes down to fear. It really does, you know. But you take a breath, you center yourself, you ground yourself. And then, you know what? You go back out there and do it, because that's who you are. You are amazing. And you're not, you know, it feels like you're physically fighting sometimes. It really does. Especially when you're fighting against things like depression and anxiety and such. It is an actual physiological fight that you're going through. You know, it is a struggle sometimes just to get out of bed, and just to say, you know, it would be so much easier just to run away and say, I'm just not going to deal with that, which is sometimes okay, but as long as it's followed by right now, you know. One of the things that Greg used to tell me, you know, when it came to taking care of the kids, is that don't react out of anger. You know, put them somewhere safe, calm down, take a few breaths, and then go back to it. It's okay if you don't deal with the situation right at that moment. In fact, sometimes it's better. You know, you need time to process. You need time to understand, you know, why is this upsetting me so much? You know, is it triggering something from my past maybe? You know, is there something going on with me that's so upsetting? Like, why is this so upsetting right now? And sometimes it is the kids, like, you know, but in those moments when you're able to kind of sit down and regain your resolve, those are the times when you can regain the I messages. Like, you know, I feel like what you did was very disrespectful to me, and I really don't appreciate it, you know. And just make sure that you set your boundaries and stand up for yourself and such, you know. You deserve that, you know. You are the one that you're you're the caregiver. You're the one that is supposed to guide them into being a good person. So, just don't forget that, please, that you are the one that is doing so much work and really putting in the effort to guide this, to guide our children and our, younger beings even, that into the light, into being aware of themselves and being able to help themselves and do things for themselves and such. And, I cannot tell you how much that is appreciated and that is acknowledged. And please acknowledge that within yourself. You're doing a great job. You really are. And you're creating some incredible human beings. Please keep up the wonderful work, okay? Thank you. Have a good night.